Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for joining the Tarot Tips series. This is part 2 of our in-depth look at the Celtic cross layout. I'm going to talk about the positions in the layout in the ways that have over time come to make sense for me. I don't want people to assume that these are the only possible interpretations. It's always important to remember that you need to find ways to have whatever tarot methods you're working with work for you, to feel right for you. So please, as I'm going through these positions within the layout and describing the layout, keep in mind that this is what works for me. This is partly how I learned it and how over time I've become comfortable with the layout. It doesn't mean it's the only way. So let's go see what the cards have for us today. Okay, here we have the layout in its original form. I'm going to use this little barbecue skewer as my poker, or as my pointer. So the 10 cards. There's a couple of intersections and overlapping of ideas that happens here. So you have a circular pattern here, you have a linear pattern here. This is card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5, card 6, card 7, 8, 9, and 10. Laying them out from the center and kind of swirling around, starting here, concluding with the 10th card. Now, I haven't looked at the images yet because I want to talk a little bit about the positions and the diagram of the layout in general. So I like a couple of things about this layout in terms of how it integrates ideas. First of all, that you have the circular and you have the linear. I think of what's happening with these first 6 cards in the circular pattern as your inner life, the dynamics that are going on inside of you or inside of the person for whom the reading is being presented. And the 4 cards over here in the linear pattern as outer life. This is external life. This is what can be seen by other people and by the world. So you have inner and outer. The other thing you have going here is that these 3 cards, card 6 and card 9 and 10, talk about the future. This triangle up here are things that are yet to come. So you have a lot of the 7 pieces of the present energy, what you bring to the table in the present moment by the first 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the 2 external world cards, this card and this card. Those are present, a slice of the present reality. And that the 3 cards up here in this triangle talk about things that are yet to come, different pieces of things that are yet to come. The other thing that you can consider as you're looking at this layout just as a diagram is that the cards that fall in the inner life in this horizontal line can be seen as your worldly reality in the inner still, but still your experience of the worldly reality in the past, in the present, and in the future. And that the cards that fall in the vertical line, this one, and this one, are pieces of your consciousness. Something that's in your unconscious with card 3, with card 1, something that's working in a semi-conscious or kind of subliminal way. And then with card 5, what you're not intentionally, but what you are conscious of holding in your mind, what you are currently aware of. So to recap that idea, if you want to look at it as 2 intersecting crosses, you've got the intersection of past, present, and future, linear time with your conscious awareness, unconscious, let's say subliminal or semi-conscious, and then conscious awareness with this card. So you've got those intersections of those two parts of your experience. Having said that, I like to think of this whole diagram, and the metaphor I always like to use is if I'm baking a cake and I'm putting the beater into the batter, that where the beater first touches the batter is what's happening here, and that they sort of spin around like this. Everything is going to connect to what is happening here in the center. What is the dynamic here, and how do things evolve and revolve around what is happening here? Everything is going to connect back to whatever we have here with these first two cards. So let's turn them over and see what we have. Okay, that's card 1. That's card 2. Card 3. Card 4. Card 5. Card 6. Card 7. Card 8. Card 9. Card 10. Let me get them a little bit better in the frame here. Okay, so the first thing to do with this and or any other reading is to get the bird's eye view. Don't go into interpretation right away. Take a look at the thing as a whole. In the big picture, what sorts of things do you notice? What are some prevalent themes? What kinds of cards do you see a significant amount of? What kinds of cards don't you see? So step 1 with reading this or any other layout is to get the big picture. You can zero in and get as particular and as specific as you want later. Don't do that in the beginning of in particular, this layout. So some big picture themes here might be, I see a lot of cups, especially in this line right here, 3, 4, and 6. Particularly, we see a lack, we could say. We see one major arcana card, but aside from that, there isn't a lot of major arcana energy, nor are there any swords. So sometimes it's important to pay attention to what you don't get as much as what you do get. If I were going to give a few adjectives about this layout, I would say energetic, because of this queen and this knight and this chariot and this page. We also see quite a few wands, 1, 2, 3, 4. So wands and cups mostly. In the outer life, we see the interplay of pentacles. We get a pentacle card here and a pentacle card here. But let's go back to that idea of the big picture. What are some adjectives that we could assign, or just to begin the reading process? What sorts of thoughts come to mind here? We see a pretty strong personality with that Queen of Wands. We see, in some ways, a nice balance of connection with others with these cup cards. And let's say personal will and drive with this Queen, this 6 of Wands. This feels like there's some adjustment going on out here. We'll fine-tune some of these notions in part 3. If we're looking at what's coming and just look at these 3, we get an idea that something new is trying to happen, that there's nice connections to be built on. We have a couple of 6s here. Those always show connection, compatibility, harmony with the outer world, 6s. But then we also have these two sevens. So this looks like something that's in process, something that's trying to work toward its fulfillment or toward a new creative end here with those wand cards. Actually, with these three wand cards, this one, and this one. We look at the 10th card and we say, to me, we might look and say which card feels like it's different from the others. And to me, this is the one that stands out as different. This is the one that's got a heavy tone, whereas pretty much everything else, except for maybe this 4 of Cups in here, has a pretty much go for it attitude. Go for it. 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 So traditionally that's called the outcome card. I don't like that word outcome because it implies something that is inflexible. But if this is the likely unfoldment of the present energy, we do see that there might be some way that things get stalled out here. For all of this go forward energy, there might be some blocks or hindrances that this person's going to have to deal with. So the first thing you do is take the overview, notice what you notice what does not show up in the reading. Give yourself a moment to just sort of take it in and get the feeling sense of it. And then you can always get more clear about your details as you continue through the reading process. So that will be the conclusion of this week's tip. We'll go into the more definite reading of this layout in the next part.